Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. We have Alexandra Eala versus Coco Gauff for the quarterfinals of the WTA Dubai Tennis Championships. Before we do get into my tactical breakdown and ultimately my prediction, do remember to hit that like button, do subscribe if you're new, and do leave a rating or review if you're listening on a podcast platform. Okay, we've got a really exciting match to get into because Alexandra Eala is in some really good form. Coco Gauff has managed to find a little bit of form herself. She's definitely underperformed by her expectations this year so far. She's a two-time Grand Slam champion, as we know, and she still is so young. There's just so much time for her to win so many titles in her career, already having won 11 in total. Alexandra Eala looking to win her first WTA title anyway. And in terms of ages, for once, Coco's playing someone who's younger than her. She's only 21, but Alexandra Eala is over a year younger at 20 years of age. And I'm interested to see how this one plays out, just because I don't think Coco Gauff is going to bring her A game. She saved 3 match points in her round of 16 match against Elise Mertens. And as we're talking about that match, we may as well talk about her matches she's played so far to this route. So she played Anna Kalinskaya in the first round, or her first round match anyway. It was the second round, but she got a bye in the first round. So in her second round, she played Anna Kalinskaya, won that one 6-4, 6-4. Kalinskaya, as we know, can be very dangerous, but in the end, Coco getting it done. Then Coco played Elise Mertens, won that one 2-6, 7-6, 6-3, saved 3 match points in an epic comeback to win that one. And what's probably the most damning stat, and this has been a big question mark around her game since the French Open win, and that is her serve. And she's been working with a biomechanist, and it seemed to maybe have fixed it for a week or two, but it just doesn't seem to be going away, the issues on serve. And she's also had issues from the back of the court with a lot of unforced errors. The forehand has started to break down at times again. And it's just been a bit strange to see, because she had such a high at Roland Garros last year, and then clearly there's some, maybe it's just confidence, but I think there are some technical issues by the looks of it. And I'm not an expert coach, but from what I've heard and from what I've seen, I think there's clearly something there that needs to be resolved, whether it's technical or mental, just to get her back to her best level, which is Grand Slam title winning form. Against Kalinskaya, she hit 12 double faults, and against Mertens, 16. And just to put that into perspective, she only hit 4 aces against Kalinskaya, the 12 double faults, then only 1 against Elise Mertens and 16 double faults, only hitting 43% of first serves in there. It's going to be a very interesting match if she serves that many double faults. For Eala, she beat Baptiste and won that one 6-4, then Love won, and then Baptiste had to retire. Then against Paolini, a very impressive performance, 6-1, 7-6. And then just now beat Castella 7-5, 6-4. She herself has a pretty weak serve, I think it's fair to say, but she hasn't been serving more than 3 or 4 double faults a match. She's not going to hit many aces. I think only the 1 ace so far in this tournament. And she tends to back it up with power baseline play, looking to hit the ball on early. So let's talk about tactically how this might play out, because I think there's quite a bit to break down here. So we just talked about serve, so let's round that off. On serve, look, Coco, if she's not hitting a lot of first serves in, and she only hit 43% against Mertens, then it puts a lot of pressure on her second serve. So a lot of this match, well, definitely a big factor in this match, is going to be how many first serves can she make in. And there's 2 sub-topics to talk about here. And the first one is, okay, how is Coco looking in terms of her rhythm on serve? That is obviously a big factor. If she's in rhythm, she's going to make more first serves. If she's not, she's going to make less. But then there's also the pressure from the other side of the court, and that is when we talk about Eala's returning. She's a very good returner. I think I've said top 20 in the world, in my opinion. And she's good returning off both first and second serve. If she puts pressure on Coco, because Coco might make a lot of first serves in the middle of the box with quite a bit of pace. She might even slice that first serve, but try and go for a lot on it or a lot more on it with just a little bit of slice rather than really slicing across it like she sometimes does for a second serve. or she might just go flat but middle of the box. If Eala is able to hit really effective returns deep into court, take the ball early, and really make sure that Gauff is not able to feel comfortable in those +1 shots, and she's forcing errors from Gauff in those service games, especially on the first serve, Gauff is going to want to go for more. And that will bring down her first serve percentage because she will try and go for smaller targets, and naturally she will not make as many first serves. She might go through patches where she's serving really well, but it's very difficult to maintain that for over 2 sets. It's possible, but improbable. And then on the second serve especially, Eala, if I was Eala and I was her coach, I would be saying, look, we know that she's susceptible to double faults. Be aggressive on the second serve. Make sure that, one, that you're making it so it's calculated aggression, but 2, try and get her to put a bit more on the second serve. Try and stop her from playing safe on the second serve, and that will force her to go for more on her second serve as well, again, which could lead to double fault. So it's definitely, it's one of those factors in matches that it can unravel very quickly for a server. If the return is playing really well and being able to neutralize your serve a lot, then you have to think of different things, try different things, go for smaller targets. It does mean that it can affect your accuracy, your first serve percentage, and also your double fault count could go up as well if you are susceptible and to hitting those double faults in pressure moments. So that's a serve. Then we talk about Eala's serve quickly. She's got a weaker serve, definitely. And Gauff is top, I would say, 3 or 4 returners on tour, in my opinion. She's not going to necessarily hit a lot of winners, but she'll make a lot of balls, and she will also press you a lot on the first ball if your serve is not good enough. Eala tends to go slice or slider out wide from the ad side and then down the tee on the juice side, because that's the lefty serve into the backhand of a righty. Gauff, though, her backhand is better, not just from the back of the court in terms of stability and just general potency, I would say, but also on return. It's a lot more reliable. So Eala might have to do something which is going to be a little bit uncomfortable at times, which is go into the forehand return of Gauff, which is more prone to errors. The issue she might have is that because of her natural leftiness, and she doesn't really, she's not at that stage of her serve development yet where she kind of gets across the ball. And so let's say if we're talking about the juice side, she's not able to quite get the ball to move away from the righty forehand effectively. That could mean that it curves into Gauff's body, and that could also open up a backhand. But if she's able to at least get it close enough to the tram lines from the service box, she should get a forehand, and that at least will mean something in terms of asking the question from Gauff. On second serve, I think it's going to be difficult because Gauff will be aggressive on the second serve. Eala doesn't put a lot on that second serve, so that'll be interesting to see. The one thing that might be interesting is that Gauff tends to hit the double hander a lot. She doesn't tend to slice a lot, so even if the ball is very low, she'll still try and dig it out. She's got really good timing off the backhand. She's super athletic, as we know. You know, both players move well, but I'd say Gauff is top 2 or 3 movers on tour. Eala is definitely up there, but she's not in that bracket at the moment. The way that she's going to win this match is from her baseline power. If she can really take advantage of Gauff at the moment in the fact that she's not playing anywhere near her best tennis, if Eala can go big into the Gauff forehand rusher, the big advantage that Eala has in her game is that she takes the ball early and she redirects pace well, and she's able to rush opponents and take time away. And that's an issue that Gauff has on the forehand, where she's got very extreme grip and it can break down at times, not always, but at times when she's having to face a lot of power and pace and depth on that wing. So to me, that is really the game plan. If I was Eala, I'd be trying to target that as much as possible, and then only go into the backhand if I know that I can really hit an aggressive stroke. Or actually, I take that back, because her backhand Gauff is very good, but she's not going to attack. It's not a weapon that she's going to attack with consistently. It's more a very consistent, neutral ball that she can hit and ask questions and press you. And if she goes line with the backhand, that's when it's an issue, because that's into the Eala backhand. And Eala will most likely be looking to attack with the forehand. If she goes cross-court big as well, Eala having to get down low on the lefty slice could be an issue, as we know. But Gauff isn't going to run around the backhand, that's for sure. And on the forehand wing, I think if Eala goes into that forehand with quality, which is why I said I should change what I'm saying, because I think if she goes into that with quality, then Gauff, I think, will struggle. And I think she will end up committing errors on that side. If I was Gauff, I would be being aggressive on the return. I'd be trying to... I'd be giving myself a bit more space behind the baseline to give myself time to tee up the forehand. And I wouldn't be too worried about what's coming on the other side of the court, knowing that actually if I'm playing some of my best tennis, if I'm taking my time, staying patient, then most likely I should get the win because of the incredible quality that Gauff has, not just in terms of her skill set, but in terms of her ability to grind out match wins. And that's what she showed against Elise Mertens. This is going to be a tough match though for her, because Eala mentally seems to be very tough. So this could be a potential banana skin, and it could be another fairy tale run for Eala, and it's starting to become that, like she did at Miami last year. It's a tough one. I think the safe pick is going to be Coco Gauff. But given the current form, given how Eala's playing, I think it's tough to count against her. She hasn't lost a set yet. I'm going to go with Alex Eala, but in 3 sets. I think she will drop a set, but I think she'll get the win. And I think it could be another marquee win like she had against Swiatek last year in Miami. I think these slower hard courts suit her game more than they do Coco. Let me know in the comment section below what you think and why. Thanks very much, guys. Stay safe and well, and we'll see you in the next video.